The Sixth Sense is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and it stars Bruce Willis as a child psychologist whose patient, played by a very young Haley Joel Osment, claims he can see and talk to the dead. And all right, so the thing about The Sixth Sense is that a lot of people have been talking about this movie, but I've never actually sat down and watched this movie until late. I want to say like mid to late last year. I know it's crazy, and it took September of 2024 for me to come around and to make a video and review and talk about my thoughts. But I've been so recently. Why am I doing this? All right, so I have been thinking about M. Night Shyamalan. I just rewatched Unbreakable and Split, and I watched Glass for the very first time just yesterday. I watched Glass, and I don't know why, but like so far I'm like my mind is just thinking about M. Night Shyamalan and his filmography. I am a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I don't know if I would put him in my top five, but he's definitely on my top 10 greatest, of my favorite directors of all time. Um, so of course, and because Halloween is coming soon, M. Night Shyamalan is known for directing a lot of movies with that contains supernatural plots and twist endings. That's what he's famous for. That's what he's known for. And I'm like, yo, this is perfect. This is a perfect time for me to go back and watch all of his movies and get caught up and talk about each one of them in details. I have talked about a couple. I have some of his movies I have reviewed. Just a few of them I have reviewed and talked about on my YouTube channel, so you can go check it out. Yeah. So yeah, this film really does establish M. Night Shyamalan as a preeminent thriller screenwriter slash director, and introduced the cinema public to his traits, most notably his affinity for twist endings. And let's get into it, all right? Let's talk about what I love about this movie, because this is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film so far. I mean, there's still a couple more. I've seen a couple M. Night Shyamalan films. I haven't seen every single one of them. Like I said, Glass came out in 2019, but it took me until just last night for me to watch that movie for the first time. So there's still a couple movies that I haven't seen, like After Earth, The Village, The Happening, that I haven't seen from him that I haven't seen. So yeah, so going into this review and giving you my thoughts, director M. Night Shyamalan, he takes his vision from the page and carefully crafts a tale that completely absorbs the viewer. And I just love that about M. Night Shyamalan. And he did a fabulous job constructing the imagery, world building, and pseudo horror, thriller, psychological direction of the film. Even though this movie is labeled as, let me actually type it here, The Sixth Sense. What's the genre? Okay, so Google, labeled it as a horror mystery, but for me, I really see The Sixth Sense more as a psychological thriller rather than a horror, like a psychological horror movie, because there's really nothing horrifying about this movie. There is a mystery. I will agree with that. There is a mystery, but thriller does mystery does accompany with thriller, so it does follow. It does follow. It does follow. Excuse me. It does fall under that umbrella. Jesus Christ, my English. Um, but there is definitely raw emotion. Fear is a difficult emotion to generate in a modern audience that has seen it all before. But this film, The Sixth Sense, succeeds where others have failed, preying, which in this film really does prey on the audience's imagination, us, the audience's imagination, and generating suspense from subtle devices rather than just blatant, plain, bland horror, like straight out, which is something we all get tired of. And I just love how this movie reflects on some difficult subjects that will make the viewer walk away asking eternal questions. Questions about death, about letting go, about eternal love and commitment, about the love between a parent and a child, and between a husband and a wife. It really does raises and asks so many questions when after you see this film, and I love how M Night Shyamalan really does like dive into that category, dive into that, and just really like it's amazing. It's amazing, all in all. So yeah. The performances by Bruce Willis, who, by the way, I'm very sad that he's retired from acting because he's a great actor. I love Bruce Willis. I love me some Bruce Willis. But yeah, his performance and the excellency of Haley Joel Osment live up to they just really live this movie up, and they lift it up. They're both excellent, and with their directed quality storyline, it's amazing. It's amazing. The sheer truthfulness and honesty with which the concept of fear is expressed by all the characters is just fucking breathtaking. And of course, the famous line, "I see dead people," spoken by Haley Joel Osment. The film is carefully constructed and deliberately slow so that we can absorb the excellent cinematography and have a chance to find clues that will help us avoid, preconceived ideas. And the twist ending and how the story led up to it is so well executed and brilliant. Brilliant by M. Night Shyamalan. And the bloody effects on the ghosts were iconic as well and amazing. I really have nothing bad to say about. I seriously can't think of any flaws or any issues. This might be this might be like, like I said, this is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film. Of course, we all know, I did a review for it, but we all know my worst favorite M. Night Shyamalan film. He doesn't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. I'm pretty sure the cast of the movie doesn't want to talk about it. But of course, my worst favorite M. Night Shyamalan film is, of course, The Last Airbender. M. Night Shyamalan. I don't have anything against I have no beef with M. Night Shyamalan, but I don't know who wrote The Last Airbender, but M. Night Shyamalan and the writers, whoever wrote the story, for The Last Airbender, completely butchered my childhood. So yeah, the Last Airbender is my least favorite. It's my least favorite M. Night film, and The Sixth Sense is my favorite. But there's still a couple movies that I still haven't seen from him that I need to see and get caught up on. So next will be Signs. And thank you so much, everyone, for taking your time to listening to my review, my thoughts. Please like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe, because when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'd be helping me out by a bunch, by a ton, and I would really mean that. It would really mean a lot to me, and I appreciate that. Because when you subscribe to my channel, you would be part of my community. You would be part of my family, and I would welcome you into our family, my family, and we would very much like to have you on board. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.